All right. Peace, everybody. Welcome to Show and Prove. I'm Achi El Karar, and we back again, back again on another adventure and whatnot. And we are back at it with Nomad Empire, right? And we still talking about Mongols and whatnot. Last round we started off with tribes and tribe and empire, and now we're still with tribe in Empire. And we're going to, delve a little bit more into, those um, steppe uh, nomadic tribes. Only because, you can't call them Mongols because they're all not Mongols. They all have their own name, You can't lump them all in together. You know what it says, because all of them ain't Mongols. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, peace to the chief, you know what I'm talking about? Already, you know what I'm talking about? And so yeah, man, let's just go ahead and get up into it. So yeah, peace on sovereign needs. Okay. So here we go. Ooh, while I'm thinking about it. Okay. So I know I gave like movie and TV recommendations, but I do know that for some of them, you know, just in case like don't have like Netflix or something, can't watch Marco Polo or anything like that, that's okay. But if you like go to like Tubi, which is free, you know what I'm talking about. Like I said, they got Golden Horde. They got a couple of manga movies. Some manga movies I ain't never seen. They short, but like Genghis Khan and forget the 10 something. I have to watch it though. Then they got another one. Um, they got a few. They got a few, but one Golden Horde for sure, and whatnot, which you can just learn about the Golden Horde and the Russians. You know what I'm talking about, or the Rus, or the Rus princes. You know, um, but yeah, man, peace, alien. Chotiape. So yeah, all right. So 1 second. Okay. So the history of the turbulent 12th century in Mongolia was dominated by relations with the New Jin Empire in China. The atmosphere of chaos that emerges from the sources is partly explained by the fact that constant warfare between the Chinese and the nomads on the steppes went on at the same time as intersteppe warfare between the five principal peoples of Mongolia: the Mongols, Mirkit, Tatars, Kirets, and Naiman, who were all at each other's throats, as well as the continuing feud within the Mongol tribes between the Borjit and the Taichuts clans. So, look, it's war all around. You know what I'm talking about? It's war everywhere. You got the Jin fighting all the fighting the steppe tribes. You got the steppe tribes fighting each other. It's just chaos. It's just chaos everywhere, all around. You know what I'm talking about? And you know, one thing is significant about you know basically um the Jin dynasty as well is that because of all of this you they didn't really get a solid I guess you could say a solid grounding on their own empire building because nobody liked the Jin. Nobody liked them. Nobody liked them at all. And one thing that they participated heavily in was slave trading. That was a big thing, and that's why one, nobody liked them, and two, why everybody was ready to get rid of them. Like when Genghis Khan come around, it's like, yeah, do away with the Jin. They, So yeah, man. But yeah, look, everybody's fighting each other, man. it is what it is. But yeah, but you could say it's all step infighting because the Jurchens, who are the Jin Dynasty, they're part of that step lineage as well. So everybody's fighting. Everybody's fighting each other. You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, peace, M and I love Firestarter. Peace, Ike and Jason. So yeah. Now, yet another factor is that the Mongol tribe did not simply consist of all the clans and sub-tribes whose native tongue was Mongolian, but that other tribes, Tatars, Nomad, and Kara, also contained sub-tribes who were Mongols in an ethnological and linguistic sense. So, you can be of a different band, um, a different band, and be, under the Tatar flag or the Tatar banner or the Naman banner. They carry certain bands of, sub tribes. Usually, you would say a band. Usually it's like band, then clan. Things like that. It's like um it's like it's like here. It's like Geronimo. He comes from a band called the Badonkahe. But that wasn't a real. It was a small band. It wasn't like one of the big clans up under the Chiricahua. You know what I'm talking about? It was a small sub clan or a small band. You know what I'm talking about? That could be a an example. You know. Um, so yeah, man. Just you know, just for you to get an idea. But yeah, man, you know. So, um, the only easy way to differentiate the Mongols from other tribes is to say that they were the only purely pagan tribe. The others were passionate a mixture of Nestorian Christianity and shamanism. So the Mongols were still adhering basically to the cultural religious practices of their own culture, which basically we call Tengriism. Where you believe in the blue sky and it deals with nature and whatnot. You know, um, that's where that comes in. I'm gonna get into. Well, I wanted to get into Nestorian Christianity a little bit later. Yeah, I get into a little bit later so I can get to the slide. So yeah, nah. Uh, Medieval Chinese historians made a rough and ready distinction between the various barbarians on their frontier, dividing them into civilized or white Tatars south of the Gobi Desert and along the Great Wall, principally um, the Ongud, the Kirate or Black Tatars, who lived a non-luxurious or and precarious existence on the steppes, sustaining themselves with pride at their superiority over the cowardly white Tatars who had sold their birthright for a mess of Chinese pottage and what they called the white Tatars of of southern Siberia, who eked out a living from hunting and fishing. So there's always a similarity in this sense where you have those that sort of cozy up with the dominating opposition or the dominating society. I just say it like that. You know what I'm talking about? Like over here you had the natives. You had them hang around the Fort Indians. There they called them. You know what I'm saying? While the other ones that probably lived free and on the land and whatnot, looked at them like them hanging around the Fort Indians. Those that why you call them hanging around the Fort Indians? Because they hung around the fort. They lived next to the fort, or the force of the U.S. Army, trading with them and things like that. Being around those that dealt with the enemy. It would just say it like that. Dealt with the enemy, and then you have the same thing. The distinction between the house Negro and the field Negro. Those that lived in the house, and they're not like us. Say they don't even look like us. Say they're like lighter. And whatnot. They ain't the real ones. We the real ones. We in the field. What I'm talking about. And things like that. There's always this distinction. What I'm saying? Look at them. They get to be in a big house and have biscuits and stuff. We got to eat this dang on. What we eating again? Pork? Chitlins? Okay. Things like that, man. Feeding our kids off of slop and stuff. Just But yeah, there's always you'll see the similarities in various cultures like that. Where you have those those that hang around dominant societies, and are considered good, and those that didn't. So yeah, man. Now, the Mongols, insofar as they were identified separately, were placed by Chinese historians as being somewhere between the white and black Tatars. Only with the rise of Kaidu did the Chinese realized they were something more formidable. Whereas in this one, for a while the Mongols didn't take prominence. What I'm saying? But under like Kaidu, um, who basically proved that um, Mongols ain't nothing to mess with. You ain't gonna be able to basically punk us into submission. What I'm saying, or force us into being a vassal to the Jin dynasty. What I'm saying, because you gotta understand there is no China. What I'm saying. I know they say China, but there is no. They go by dynasty. What I'm saying. So there is no China. Not in the sense that we know it. So you're not gonna punk us. So there and there were times of cooperation, with the Chinese as well. Like what you see with the Tatars. What I'm talking about. But same thing, like they stuck in limbo. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. Depends on the weather, I guess. Things like that. But peace, South Hava. What I'm talking about. So yeah, man. Now, the most powerful nation was the Naima, a people of Turkic origin who lived on the southern slopes of the Altai Mountains and the upper Irtish River, and were gradually spreading over the Tarbagatai, um, in the upper reaches of the Salunga and Orkhon rivers. They considered themselves the heirs to the Oghur Empire, which had collapsed in the mid 19th century. Like I said, there was a lot of empires, just like Liao and things like that. Now the Oghurs were a little bit western. They were a little bit west, and northwest. If you center it from China, they were northwest. What I'm talking about, and that's also also a people, or a steppe people, and but the Naman were very powerful. And this is not to be confused with the Naman of South China, that we talked about in Romance of the Kingdoms. Totally different people. What I'm saying? Totally different people. So don't get it confused. Okay. So here we're just going to show a little bit of expansion in this video right here. Let me get it. It's this one. Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna have to mute the song because I know this song comes from some movie. Yeah, I think it comes from Hero. I think that song comes from Hero. Like I know that song so well. Like it comes from a good martial arts movie, and I don't know which one it is, but I know it's memorable. Like, oh yeah, somebody really got messed up doing that song. It was like real good. So yeah, I have to mute the mute the music just in case. You never know. But yeah, as you can see, as it goes through the Jin emperors, you get to see um the expansion that happened during the Jin Empire. What was gained, what was lost. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, as you can see, there's also a difference in name. You know what I'm talking about? Not your typical Chinese name, because like I say, that different ethnic people. But as you can see, they the Jin Empire mostly are in what would be considered, China, but also Manchuria. You know what I'm talking about? And then they go out, uh, westward. They even got a little bit of what you would consider Korea. You know, that tip. They got a little bit of Korea. You know, and then they go pretty much into what you would consider mainland China. You know, peace, top tier speakers. But another thing you can see is the difference of dress among um, typical Chinese emperors. You know what I'm talking about? Usually you have like this headdress, this headdress. In this they don't wear furs. It is like typical stuff people would. But yeah. So now you see how small he gets, especially during, this time where um, time of Genghis Khan in a sense, you know what I'm talking about? And how, the Mongols just swallow all that up, you know what I'm talking about? But yeah, Jin Dynasty is done by 1234, you know? So yeah, man. Like I say, it's, you know, it's many dynasties, man, many dynasties. And you got to remember that, part of it was at one point Liao, which they took over, you know what I'm saying? But then they lost it, you know? So, yeah, man. All right. Okay. Politically cohesive until the early 13th century, they embraced a form of Nestorian Christianity mitigated by indigenous shamanism and were culturally more advanced than the tribes of northern and central Mongolia. Okay, this is the part I was sort of waiting for. So, Nestorian Christianism gets its name from a bishop out of Constantinople called Nestorius, right? Now, he's not the founder of Nestorian Christianity, but they put his name in it. It's it's whatever. But basically, Nestorian Christianity, um, their whole premise is that basically, unlike, we'll say, the Orthodox or Catholics, who believe that you do not separate uh, Jesus or Yeshua, um, uh, divinity and humanity. But Nestorian Christianity says that the divinity of Jesus or Yeshua, the divinity and the humanity of Yeshua are both independent, but kept together by morality. I know that's like, huh? you know, they're both separate, but they both kept by morality, whereas it's voluntary in the sense. You know what I'm talking about? And this was a big issue, and you'll find it. It's I can delve a lot into it, but this was a big issue at the time, because there will be something called the Nestorian heresy. You know what I'm talking about? Also, Nestorian Christianity will be brought up in an ecumenical council. Well, more than one, but one significant one was the Council of Ephesus. You know, um, which like I say, they'll be deeming Nestorian Christianity as heresy. Heresy. Now Nestorian Christianity is still around. It's just small pockets, but also Nestorian Christianity did come to China. You know what I'm talking about? During the Tang Dynasty. And the the monk or the missionary that brought Nestorian Christianity to um, the Tang Dynasty was a missionary called Alopin or Olopin, depending on who's saying it. He's supposed to be a Persian, but with a name like that, I'm like, huh? you know, yeah. And also, they have in China there's called the Nestorian Stela. You know what I'm talking about? That's there, which tells it's sort of like, I want to say it's reading kind of sort of, it's like in a sense a declaration of faith, but you know but but I, I can't really call it. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, it came during the Tang Dynasty, and it was prominent and protected by the Tang Dynasty. You know what I'm talking about? But when the Tang Dynasty fell, because here's some that's not talked about. You know, um, you have the research. Well, you have Buddhism, right? You have Buddhism in China. You know what I'm talking about? But then it comes to blows with Nestorian Christianity. You know what I'm saying? And there's some set tripping. You know what I'm talking about? And this Tang Dynasty that protects it. But once Tang is falls out of power, then you know what I'm talking about. Um, there's it becomes basically outlaw in a sense. You know what I'm talking about. But there's still pockets of the story of Christianity in China. You know what I'm talking about. Just like in the Middle East. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I just found that very in a sense interesting, You know what I'm talking about? Because it's not talked about like, when you think of Buddhism, you think of it's all peaceful, and then, except no. I will say Japan, but that's more, yeah, Shinto. Yeah, I couldn't say Japan, but yeah, but it does remind me of a little bit of that. You know what I'm talking about? Where you have a protected faith in the sense, and then but it does have, it comes to clash with another religion. You know what I'm talking about? And then there's fights, and crucifixions and whatnot, or killings. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, that does happen. You know. Now, um, next and important were the Kirates, um, to the east of the Nama, with whom they were allied. Also, Nestorian Christians who clustered around the upper reaches of the river Salunga and the Okon into the valley. You know, so yeah, Kirates, or I've also seen it Kiriates, but Kirates, um, definitely a major player. They're going to be a major player also during the time of Genghis Khan as well. You know what I'm talking about? So, yeah. So, this is something I thought was something cool. Khitan music. Didn't know it existed. I just wanted to have something different, about. So, yeah, we gonna play us all. We got an A selection.
为你栽根。
Okay, so you got to see a couple of paintings and things like that. Also, male haircuts. You know what I'm talking about? Things like that. So the Kiryat and Nauman to the west represented not just larger political units, but more developed cultures tied ever so tentatively into the commercial and religious networks of Central Asia via their conversion to Christianity several centuries earlier by missionaries of the Assyrian Church of the East, without churches or monasteries among the nomads. The tribal branch of Christianity claimed descent from the Apostle Thomas and relied on wandering monks. So I thought that was very interesting. You know what I'm talking about? Because you hear of the apostles, or 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 the 13 or 12 disciplines, whatever. But and you hear that they went on different journeys and things like that, but you never hear certain churches or um, Christian sects claim um, descendants from them, besides Peter, which is Catholics, and even you could say Protestant. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, in a sense, all of them were, but some happened to them. We know that, but also, politics and power you could say, came into play. You know what I'm saying? Just like with Nestorian Christianism, heresy. But I'm reading a book on Selim of the Ottoman Empire, and there's a part where they talk about Christopher Columbus, right? And the author is basically saying, what I'm saying, that not only did Christopher Columbus, his mission was to, now we all know that Christopher Columbus' mission was basically to find spices in India, right? But in this book, it goes on to say that not only was it about that, it was also he was supposed to find Nestorian Christians or the basically the Mongol king that was a Nestorian Christian to get an alliance to fight the Muslims. Now, me personally, I was like, man, that's all cap. Somebody cap it. That just didn't make no sense. So you mean he's on a super secret mission? So he's, and he's just gonna go to India, right? It did make sense, but also, saying, with Nestorian Christianity, why would you're Catholics, it's already been mandated by the councils and the Pope. Heretics, you wouldn't make an alliance with a heretic. If that's what my logic is, like, why would you try to get an alliance from a heretic? And not only that, they're in China, not in it did make no sense to me. But I just found that to be very interesting. It's like I thought it was laughable. I was like, I'm on a secret, so Christopher Columbus on a super secret mission to be one of the Mongol kings. And because they're Christians, they just gone, have an alliance with Spain against the Muslim Turks. Really? Against the Ottomans. Like they don't know who they is. Ain't like they never, ain't like the Mongols ain't never fought them before. It's like, so you gonna go all the way up, and you ain't even going to. I was like, Brian, that don't make no sense. They ain't even in India. But I was like, let's give it a benefit of doubt. Maybe they think everything is just India. Like they don't know what China is. I've heard of Silk Road before. None of that. I just found that to be very, interesting. And that's what I'm like, when I also see here, I'm like, these the people they talking about. But they're heretics. In a sense, they have a sect of religious Christianity that's not sanctioned by the Catholic Church. It don't make no sense. It doesn't add up. It does. You got to make it make sense. So I was like, that don't make no sense. But it is what it is. I just thought I'd share that. But yeah. Peace, Master Minglet. So, Jesus exercised a strong fascination for nomads because he healed the sick and survived death. As the only human to triumph over death, Jesus was considered an important and powerful shaman, and the cross was sacred as a symbol of 4 directions of the world. So, I mean, you see, similarities in one's culture where they can actually, rationalize, a certain, religious figure. It's been done. Similarities. There's always, people try to find similarities, when they meet, foreign people as well as foreign religious culture. Say, he survived death. Oh, for sure. You only got to survive death. We can't do that, and his symbol is, 4 directions of the world, north, south, east, west. Gotta be okay then. But yeah, he must be a powerful shaman, praise Jesus, name Jesus. Anyway, So, I guess I didn't put it in there. I thought I did. Okay, but also one thing that was also said, I thought I put it in there, but I guess it didn't, was that because Jesus turned water into wine. That was another thing why they because as you found out last round, Mongols and stuff, people love to get drunk. So they found out that this guy turned water into wine. I'm like, oh, this dude's a partier too. He liked to drink. He could turn water into wine. He don't mind us getting drunk then. Oh, cool. It's different, it's different when we meet when we meet Islam, what I'm talking about. And things like that, what I'm saying? It hasn't taken hold yet. But yeah, but yeah, man. Long as I can get my drink on, I'm good. you know. And another thing that was said was that they didn't practice or fellowship in churches. They were still in gears. What I'm talking about, or yurts. What I'm talking about. That was another reason. One of those churches. But yeah, man. So now the Tatars, comprising 6 different clans who occupied the steppe region to the south of the Caroline River, were the Chinese secret weapon in the 12th century, and have sometimes be called the Gendarmerie. It's French. Which means a member of a body of soldiers, especially in France, serving as an armed police force for the maintenance of public order of the Jin Dynasty. So, the Tatars, were them do dirt dudes. You know what I'm talking about? They were the goons. You know what I'm talking about? They were the enforcers. You know what I'm talking about? They're not in, you don't hear that they rise to prominence in the Jin Dynasty. But if you want somebody kept in line, or you want the steps kept in line, you go to the Tatars. You know what I'm talking about? They basically, mercs or whatever, enforcer / mercenaries, what I'm talking about, that the Jin can, give money to, be like, hey, yo, handle our lightweight, over the step, and they'll do it. What I'm talking about. But yeah, the Tatars is also gonna play. The Tatars play a role in history no matter where they go. But during the time of Genghis Khan, because a Tatar chief basically gives Genghis Khan his name, which is Temujin. That's even a man. We're gonna get into that next round, but that's when we get into it. It's like, man, there's some hood stuff going on, but yeah. So yeah, it's already some hood stuff going on, but yeah, it's just like, huh? Sunday. But yeah. So all Chinese rulers sought to palliate the threat from the dangerous northern nomadic neighbors by a systematic policy of divide and rule. And the Tatars, until the end of the 12th century, played the role admirably. As early as the 12th century, Chinese historians identified the Supu, almost certainly the Tatars, as the dominant tribe in eastern Mongolia. So, as I've already said, those was the guys you go to if you want them to keep all the other steppe tribes in line. Not saying that they ran they were like the principal or the they had their own empire of the steppe. No, everybody's separate. They're separate tribes. But if you wanted an ally, You know what I'm saying? And you didn't want to like, the Jin ain't gonna send troops, across the Gobi to, fight other steppe tribes. But if you already have, an ally, which is the Tars, they can do it for you. That's what I'm really trying to say. You know what I'm talking about? You get your, I get my dude there, dude, and I don't have to be, them cats in your in your clique can squeeze guns too. So yeah, it's like that. You get your associate, to do the dirt where, the organization don't have to do it themselves. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, that's really what it is. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah. And by them being that way, you know what I'm talking about, you can also, say that this kept on furthering the divide and conquer, because you already got somebody on your side. You see it, what I'm talking about. There's always some tribe, in good with the dominant culture or society, what I'm talking about, throughout history. you know. So yeah. The Tatars were particularly dangerous to the Mongols as they lived to the south of their territories. The Mongol homeland being around the Onong and Carolyn rivers. So yeah, you already you are around the threat, and they don't like you, and you don't like them. You know what I'm saying? But when you don't have a when you're nomadic, you know what I'm saying, you're always on the move anyway. But oh, they frequent this area or something. Things along that line. You know. Now to the northwest of the Mongols on the lower river, Salinga, south of Lake Baikal, and around Lake Kovsgol, was another warlike tribe, the Mirkits. Fortunately, for the Mongols, divided into three branches, each with its own ruler. The Mirkit were as fragmented as the Namen were cohesive. So yeah, the Mirkits, like, look, during the time, look, there's gonna there's gonna be some hood stuff, and America's gonna play a role. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You know what I'm saying? I try not to get spoilers. So, a tribe you need to pay attention to. You know what I'm talking about? But like many, they're fragmented. You know what I'm saying? They're not. Oh, they're not solid and united as a tribe. You know what I'm saying? They're fragmented. So yeah, but they will play a role. So okay, now the Kyriates, making sure I don't confuse the Kyriates with the Kyriates, but the Kyriates constituted a yeah, the Kyriates should be Kyriates. So spelling, I'm gonna tell you that right now. Sometimes authors spell them different, and they talking about the same tribe, or the same person. So Kyriot constituted a powerful tribal confederacy that embraced a large group of tribes united under a single Khan. The great expanse of the steppe north of the Gobi fell at this time under the rule of three major tribes. The center was controlled by Ong Kong and his Kiryat tribe. The west was dominated by the Namans under their ruler Tyan Kong, and the Tatars occupied the area to the east as vassals of the Jurchit of North China, which is Jurchen, but it says Jurchit. Talking about the Jurchens, same people, Jin, under their ruler Altan Khan, Han, So yeah, Kyria's very important, as well as Ong Kong, or Ong Han, which his real name is Torgril. Torgril. He's important because he plays a role in the time of Genghis Khan when he's a grown man, and before he's born, which we'll get into next strong. But he plays, but Ong Han plays a role. You know, he's very important. You know, in a sense, you know. So yeah. Okay. Here's another video. Actually, when I saw this video, I thought of Shoti Maria when she showed me the picture that she was going to use. Like, huh, you know. Then that happened across this video, and then I was like, I'll play this one. So yeah, here we go. So yeah, that is video on a woman shooting on horseback, with composite bow. But I thought it was cool, because those are the best kept secrets no one tells you about. Like these things actually happen. You can dress up like a Mongol, and of course, it's a Western horse in the video, but a Western, European or Western horse, but you can participate in these, in these competitions if you want to. If you got your ears to the ground or whatever, and you want and good at archery, man, go compete. You know what I'm talking about? Don't leave it to just them. You can do it too. You know what I'm talking about? Better. You know what I'm saying? If you apply yourself, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, man, I mean, hey, you never know. You may need to shoot from horseback, whether it's with a bow or with a rifle. You know what I'm talking about? you know. I still want to sometimes get a leather action, put that thing around it. you know. Boom, boom, But so yeah, But for sure, man. Now, the first half of the 12th century brought a significant episode in the continent of Kabul. Kaidu's grandson, sometimes the writer for his Pantagruel-like appetite, but clearly a man of great ability. Now, Pantagruel is actually a book, but it's about a gluttonous prince. He's fat, but a gluttonous, a gluttonous prince. And that was one thing that was said about Kabul, which when I see the name, I think of course, I think of Afghanistan, but you know, um, he was a big guy. You know what I'm talking about, and he goes, amongst the jinn, and he goes into a banquet, and they're repulsed by his heavy eating, and bad table manners. You know what I'm talking about? Which brings us into this slide, where so worried were the jinn by Kabul that having allowed him to depart in disgrace from court, they had second thoughts and sent an armed party in pursuit to bring him back and force him to sign an articles of vassalage. Alerted by the to the pursuit, Kabul lured the jinn posse into an ambush and slaughtered them to the last man. Which just goes to show you never judge a book by its cover. But yeah, they thought, well, this guy, this I ain't gonna say, but this guy, what I'm saying, bring him back, and we're gonna force him to be, vassals to the jinn. Well, he's already alerted. He's basically playing country dumb, and he's already alerted. And you know what? When y'all trying to come and arrest me, that's when the ambush happens, and everybody did. Everybody died. Everybody gets deleted or whatever. So yeah, man. He proves that he can be strategic where it's needed to be. You know what I'm talking about? Now, after the gloves came off, and from 1135 to 1147, there was bitter warfare between the jinn and the Mongols. The jinn once again tried to use the Tatars as their secret weapon, but Kabul defeated them on several occasions, as well as doling out a serious check to a large jinn expedition that crossed the northern frontier into Mongolia in 1137. You look, he wasn't uh, he wasn't no punk. He wasn't scared of him. You know what I'm talking about? And when we said, what the jet says, I'm gonna get my goons to handle you, Tatars. I'll smack them up too. And which he does. And then the Jin, sends, an expedition or a campaign, up north, and then he deals with them too. You know what I'm saying? So he proves that he's a good warrior and a good general. You know what I'm talking about? Now, after him, before I go into this, after him, um, he selects because Kabul is a Borjigit, but he selects a Taichut. Now he has kids, but he doesn't select them as leader. He selects a Taichu, which upsets the Borgia, and his name is Ambagai. You know, but that would be a lot. So it's best to focus back when the Borgia actually get back power, which is this slide right here, where after Ambagai, which he wasn't as great of a tactician as Kabul, but he stays off skirmishes, a little bit, but after him, because he dies in battle. You know what I'm talking about? But he was succeeded by Kutula, a Borgia, thus restoring the clan as the tribe's natural rulers. Yet there is much that is obscure about Kutula's election. Some say that the Taichus broke away definitely from the Mongol Confederation at this point and separated themselves physically from the Borgia by finding themselves in new headquarters north and east of Lake Baikal. So this is also the breaking away, you know what I'm saying, where they were once at least a united confederacy of Mongol tribes. Now you have um, the second major clan totally breaking off. They said, "Oh no, we up, we gone." You know what I'm saying? But the Taichus are still going to play a role, you know, during the time of Genghis Khan or Genghis Khan, which you will see, you know what I'm talking about, during his childhood and adolescence, I guess you could say. But yeah, this is when they break off. You know what I'm talking about, and um, basically, uh, the Mongol tribe that was once united, they're no longer united no more. Now they go back to being fragmented again. You know, so in Mongol lore, there was a supposed difference between Nidong, the sons of light, and lesser tribesmen known as Dirk Dirklukin. Um, the problem was that both Borjigid and Taichuts regard themselves as Nidong and the rival clan as lesser beings. You know what I'm saying? Now, uh, sometimes you have those clans that see they want to be the main branch and all and the other one is the lesser, you know what I'm saying, like, okay, baby bastard Ming let me know this. It's like in Naruto, right? You know what I'm saying? You have like you have Keiji, you know what I'm saying, who who's a copy ninja, and he has a shotgun, but he's not, like he's not like okay. Naruto. He's not like Sasuke and the Uchihas. You know what I'm saying? He's not a full Uchiha, right? Or 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 um or you have the Hyuga clan, right? This is always big. Like okay, you have like Hinata and her family, who's like the main branch, and then you have Neji. I always think Neji was cool. Neji was cool, right? And Neji, who comes from, even though his father is Hinata's father's brother, he still comes from a lesser branch. And because he comes from a lesser branch, his powers are basically um held intact, or held, or locked by a like a tattoo, because he really has it on the forehead, but it, by a tattoo, sort of like a tattoo on his forehead. It's something like that, but it's like real cool. I used to think, man, that's cool, man. I don't know why. I was like, this dude got a cool name, and he got he got a chip on the shoulder, because he's seen as lesser, but he's the most powerful. He's the most powerful out the clan. He got to prove himself. But yeah, it's something like that. You see certain things like that. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah. So this caste difference was later strongly emphasized in the Bible of the Mongol Empire, the secret history, which is the secret history of the Mongols, where only members of the Borjigid lineage are regarded as proper Mongols, with the Taichus as cousins or poor relations, equivalent to other such minor appendages as the Besud, Oranon, or Aralak clans. So you have a puffing up of one clan over the other. Like, we're the proper Mongols. Like, we have the lineage or the inheritance of as Mongols. And the other ones are just minor offshoots. So yeah. The next Borjigid to take up um, the reins was Yasuge. Um, there is something of a mystery about Yasuge and his origins. The official version in the secret history is that he was third son of Barton, Kabul's second son, and thus clearly a member of the ruling elite. Yet, Yasuge never ruled um, a Mongol confederation as Kabul, Ambagai, and Kutula has done. So, Yasuge is Genghis Khan's father, right? Um, his name means like nine, which nine is a lucky number amongst the Mongols. But this is, not he's a grown man. Like I say, he's gonna be doing some hood stuff, but the secret history, according to this, said, is basically saying that, he's the second son, giving him a royal lineage. Sometimes that happens, in history, where you have a person, come to royal prominence or whatever, but their basically ancestral lineage ain't real prominent. So they'll, put like, we're the son of this person, even though they're probably not, So that's what you have here, in the sense, at least that's what this is saying. Whereas, that there's no evidence saying that, he comes from this historic lineage, um, because he doesn't he didn't control um, a powerful confederation, such as the people that well, at least Kabul, who he said he's descended from. or like, Ambagai Cthulhu, you know what I'm saying? Which he's alive during the time of Cthulhu, and Ambagai, you know. Um, he had a camp on the River Anna near modern Gavarnor, where he commanded a ragtag host of Borjigid, renegade Taichutes, and other clans. But he was never powerful enough to be elected Khan. His men were essentially guerrillas, a band formed of freelance operators and lawless wandering stars who chafed against the duties and restrictions imposed by kinship and broke away from their original clans to be free spirits on the steppes. So they hood. They hood. You can basically say, these were outsiders, the clan outsiders. He got together clan outsiders, and they gonna be doing some, in modern terms, gang-like activities. That's the way I keep on. Look, when I get to yesterday, I'm like, this is some hood stuff that's really going on here. And, he really doing some, like, what is life real? But yeah, but yeah, he brings these people together, you know what I'm talking about. And they get money. We just gonna say it like that. They getting money. In the sense they raid and they getting money. As New York said, they getting that shmoney. They getting shmoney up there. They getting shmoney. But there's no bond of kinship or unity amongst them because they all come from different clans or whatever. But for the moment, they getting this money. I'm saying they getting this money. But yeah, hey. So yeah, man. But it's important because he's going to. It's like he plays a part in a series of events that play out in Genghis Khan's life. It usually starts off, or the issues starts off with him. You know what I'm talking about, and what he did. Um, So yeah, man. But a very interesting person. But short-lived, man. But like I say, we definitely get into that part as well. The probability is that Yasuge was the chieftain of a sub-clan with no connection whatever with Bartan and Kabul, and that he was, in Mongol terms, a Bagator, a man of honor, the title habitually given to prominent nomads who were not of the royal line. Now, in the secret history of the Mongols, I have seen that where they use his name and then they hyphenate it with Baktor or Bak, which means man of honor or hero. That's his. That's hyphenated part of his name. But other than that, like it says, you can't say he belongs to the great lineage of the main branch of the Borgias. We'll just say it like that. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah. Okay. Here's a archery tournament. Mongol So yeah, that was archery tournament. Look, everybody could get it, man. I mean, you had the men, the senior men, you had the women out there, you had the little kids out there, Ain't nobody called DCFS. because certain people like to call DCFS on you, even though you ain't harming no child. And I tell you how to run your kid, even if they from another country. But yeah, you can. I like seeing little kids just, they like they having fun, and they taking it serious, like. So yeah, man, you know what I'm talking about, So that, and also you get to see museum pieces of bows, throughout Mongol history as well. You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, man. But yeah, but also, you see them in their own clothing, using their own um, bows and things like that. Doing it, in summer and in winter. You know what I'm talking about. But also, of course, I'm saying, well, if you look at the women, they ain't that, like Western explorers would. What have you think? They're fat. They look fat. You can't be on a horse shooting like that. It's just, you know, some people like anorexia. But yeah, so but the thing is, it's a whole family oriented tournament. You can literally have fun like that, man. Like I say, there's a lot to it in there, But yeah, so anyway, join us next strong, where we will be. Well, the title is "Blood of My Blood." Of course, if I got the title from Nago Game of Thrones and the Dothraki. It just came to me, especially with a little bit of what we're gonna be talking about. But yeah, it'll be called Blood in My Blood, which is one of my favorite albums. I bet you Chief's on there. Chief's work is on there. I bet you it is. Or his earlier work. We just say the earlier work. Blood, flesh, flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. So, yeah. So, yeah, man. I'm probably gonna have to listen to it. But yeah, so that's what we're doing that strong. But don't forget that we have our new fellowship tomorrow. You know what I'm talking about? And then we have midday affirmations. Also, as always, but I gotta pull it up. But should be here. Yep. They keep on. Dang, that was last round. Where is it? It should be. I guess it ain't here no more. Don't look like it. I can't find it. Thought it'd be here. Nope. Oh well. Ain't here. So I can go back. So yeah, usually we have our new retreat, summer retreat, June 2023. Usually I go look for a picture, but I couldn't find it. So it's not in its usual space or place. So yeah, man. But join us. Keep on joining us. Give thanks for everybody coming out. You know what I'm talking about. And we will be back at it again, with blood of my blood. Okay. Of course, I'm thinking of X. But yeah. So I'll see y'all next strong. You know what I'm talking about? I'll come back now, you know what I'm saying? But give thanks to everybody, and I will let you have a good rest of strong, you know what I'm talking about. And we will continue as always, you know what I'm saying? We keep the train going, you know what I'm talking about. But give thanks to everybody, and I'll see y'all next strong. Peace.